as a skill in current eras. So we will see how we can ask ChatGPT questions and how we can actually engineer the process of asking questions. That is called prompt. Okay. So before getting started, let me first introduce about myself a little. So I am I have 4x Salesforce certification, and I am a two-star trailhead ranger. I am a blogger, and I'm a technical manager, and I'm a contributor at epicsandbox.io. So I'm not sure if you know about that epicsandbox.io. So you can say that it's a lead code platform in Salesforce. So you have the programming problems. You can solve those problems in Epics or in other Salesforce technologies like SQL or Lightning Web Component. Okay. So I would like to start the session with a tweet of Sam Altman. I think you all know Sam Altman, right? Do you know who is Sam Altman? Anyone? Okay. So Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI, and OpenAI is the company who actually creates the ChatGPT, right? So in this tweet, Sam Altman says that writing a really great prompt for a chatbot persona is an amazing high-level skill. So from this tweet, uh, we are saying that prompt or asking questions to ChatGPT is a important skill nowadays, and it's an example of programming in the little bit of natural language. So it's important, and we can see that. So I did a job search on prompt. So what I find, we can see that. So I've searched ChatGPT prompt engineer indeed. So I have found 10 jobs for the prompt engineer, and you can see the salary is pretty good, right? So prompt engineering is a essential skill for a professional. It's not limited to the Salesforce professional, but also for all the professionals, right? Okay, and so the first question is, what is prompt and what does it means actually? So prompt is nothing but the question we are asking to ChatGPT or other AI models like Google Bard. So prompt is actually telling the model what to do or what to talk about. You can say that it's a set of instructions that you ask to a language model to actually get back your desired response. So it's called prompt. And so prompt engineering is actually engineering the prompt so that you can get your desired result. So we can say that prompt engineering is the process of designing effective prompts to get better result from the language model. Okay, we'll see some examples and other terminologies regarding prompt and prompt engineering. Okay, are you seeing my screen, right? You're seeing my screen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have some important terms and concepts for the prompt or prompt engineering, and the first three things is context, instruction, and query. So we'll see some examples of these terms and terminologies, but let us dip some actually some meaning. So what are these mean? So context is actually setting the necessary background information for a questions. So it provides and help to set the stage for the conversation, and instructions can specify the desired outcome. So by instruction you can approach to the problem or clarify any constraint or requirements in your prompt. Prompt means the question you were asking to ChatGPT. And queries are the actually direct questions, so that queries will help you to guide the models focus, and you will get your desired responses. We'll see some example here. So suppose you are an admin, you are a Salesforce admin of company X, and your customer service department is getting huge number of service requests nowadays, and they are facing some problems, some challenges to actually um, prioritize the cases, or to actually solve the cases. So as a Salesforce admin, your task is to propose and build a solution. That solution will optimize your case management process, and it will definitely reduce time to resolve a case. So this is the problem actually. So as a Salesforce admin, you have to make prompt for ChatGPT for a solution, right? So let us see how we can divide this problem in context, instruction, and query. Okay. So for that specific problem, our context can be something like this. So you work as a Salesforce admin for a large e-commerce company. The customer service team faces challenges in managing a high volume of support cases, and instructions are, so we are giving instruction to ChatGPT, something like this, that provide recommendation to optimize case management processes and reduce response time and improve the customer satisfaction. And as we know that queries are the direct questions, so in queries we can put that what automation features can be leveraged, or um, are there any best practices for prioritizing case. So this is the queries. So combining these three concepts, we can create a prompt. So here an important thing is when you write a prompt or question to the ChatGPT, this three part is not mandatory. So this part, this is a concept that how you can write an effective prompt so that ChatGPT will understand you and give you the a good response or the best response. Okay, so I ask the same prompt or question to ChatGPT. So you can see that here, and ChatGPT responses like that. So you can see that it responses with a detailed overview of some recommendation. So you can see that as I have said that then I'm a Salesforce admin. So its response, it assumed that you are a Salesforce admin, and it suggested and recommends some automation tool as you are a Salesforce admin. So it proposes case assignment rules, or omni-channel case escalation rules, or email to case auto response rules. And um, additionally, it also provides some best practices for prioritizing the case based on the urgency. So you can see that it defines some best practices like define service level agreement, class case classification and categorization, customer feedback and sentiment, etc. So actually this is the thing that, so when you actually write a question to ChatGPT, you can divide your question in three different parts: uh, context, instruction, and query. And another important thing is role play. So when you are asking ChatGPT some questions, you can play some roles. So it's also a process of prompt engineering. So role play in prompt engineering is assuming a specific persona while interacting with the ChatGPT. So you can ask the question as a customer, or as a product manager, or as a historical figure, individual, etc., etc., so that it can actually set the context and response you back with your desired result output. So we'll also see this in an example. Okay, so here you can see I have a prompt like, if Salesforce were a superhero, what superpowers would it possess? So it's a question, prompting question, right? So if I ask this question as a customer support representative, so if I go to the prompt ChatGPT and write that as a customer support representative, if Salesforce were a superhero, what superpowers would it possess? So it will respond like, if Salesforce were a superhero, its primary superpower would be data vision. With its incredible ability to gather, analyze, and present data in a flash, Salesforce can help businesses make data-driven decisions. So you can see that when you ask Salesforce as a customer support representative, sorry, when you ask ChatGPT as a customer support representative, so it provide you or responds you back some answers which is actually beneficial for a customer support representative, right? So if I ask the same question as a
Shubho, we can't hear you.
power of adaptability, shifting hero, Salesforce would seamlessly adapt to the ever-changing needs of business. So uh, it actually remembers the context and responses um, in a way that actually goes with the concept context. Same question I ask as a software engineer, so it responses back me something like this. So if Salesforce were a superhero, it would possess the superpower of rapid integration. So um, the pain point of a software engineer can be integration task with different systems. So actually responses back like that. So it also responses with lightning fast API capabilities. Salesforce could effortlessly connect with any system, enabling seamless data exchange, etc., etc. Same question if I ask as a QA engineer, ChatGPT replied me back. So um, as a bug buster superhero. This is called role play. So when we ask ChatGPT some questions, so you have to provide the stage or the context. So what role are you to ask that question? It will actually provide the answer based on that context. Okay. So anyone have any question up to this part? Okay, I think no. Okay. Then if I mm, come to the techniques for effective prompt engineering. So there may be many techniques, but these techniques are important. So if I start with you have to be clear and specific to a question, to a request. So you have to communicate clearly your specific request or questions, and be precise about the topic, technology, or problem you want to address. Then it will understand you clearly and respond you back what you need. And then another one is provide contextual details. So we already know that context is very important, so you have to provide the contextual details and specify the format. For example, you were asking ChatGPT for a problem solution without specifying the format, so it will actually respond you back with a language, a code with for example Go language, but you didn't know Go. So you have to specify the format. So you have to specify the what is the problem, and please give me the code in Apex or any other language. Then it will actually respond back. Another example can be, so for example you are asking ChatGPT to provide you some demo data. So uh, you can ask ChatGPT that please give me the demo data in JSON format or in XML or in CSV. So it will actually respond you back accordingly. And request different perspective is something like prompt the model to consider various perspective. such as scalability, security, maintainability, or performance to get insight from different angles. Um, okay, and utilize example and analogies. You can always utilize example and analogies to get the model understand you better what you are asking for. Okay, add constraints. So you always add constraints. So you always ask the chat gpt, so I am actually I have this requirement, but this is the constraint, so you cannot provide a solution with this, something like that. And request evaluation and explanation is, so asking the model to explain the underlying concept, principle, or trade-offs associated with a particular software engineering decision. And experiment with priming is similar as the concept of role play or persona. And the concept had iterate and refine and provide feedback. So I will discuss these two things in detail. Um, iterate and refine is something like if the initial response doesn't provide the desired level of accuracy, so iteratively you can refine the prompt by providing additional context. So here you can see an example that uh, I have an initial prompt like describe the process of creating custom object in Salesforce, and ChatGPT responds me back that to create a custom object in Salesforce, go to setup, navigate to object manager, and click new custom object. So I iterated my prompt, I modified it, and I asked again that as a Salesforce administrator, guide a novice user on how to create a custom object step by step. Then ChatGPT provides an iterated response. Sure, first click on the setup gear icon, then find object manager in the left hand menu. From there, select new custom object and follow the prompts to define the object's properties and fields. So you can see that you can iterate and refine your prompt to um, let the chat GPT know your context. And another one is provide feedback. So you can always provide feedback to ChatGPT. For example, there is a prompt like you are a cooking enthusiast, and uh, you are you want a recipe that includes an ingredient you dislike. So uh, so ChatGPT responses back like, how about preparing a delicious pasta dish with a creamy mushroom sauce? So you don't like mushroom, right? So you can give your feedback to ChatGPT like, I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm not a fan of mushrooms. Can you suggest an alternative recipe? Then ChatGPT will suggest an alternative recipe. So this is how the feedback providing works. Um, both provide feedback and iterate and refine involve making adjustment to improve the model's response. Okay. So here I have arranged some prompts to understand you better how actually prompts and prompt engineering works. So there is another concept called prompt template. So you are actually engineering the prompt. You are engineering how you can ask a question to chat gpt so that you can get desired answer. So prompt template, we can say that prompt template is the result of prompt engineering. So you have engineered, you have um, uh, go through many iteration and refine, and you get a prompt that is actually serving your purpose. So you can say that prompt as a prompt template. So you can see online that many websites or many, even in LinkedIn post, you can see there are many prompt templates. So those templates you can actually use directly in ChatGPT and get your result. So I'll give you some examples. So how this prompt template look like. Okay. So as a developer, you can say, you can ask a prompt something like this. So as a Salesforce developer, I have been assigning the task of creating an Apex trigger. So uh, you are actually setting the background, the context, right? The trigger automatically updates a custom total revenue field on the account object whenever a related opportunity is closed on. So you are defining what you are going to do in ChatGPT, right? So you are defining the conditions and the restrictions, etc. So finally, you ask the design the trigger and write the necessary code to achieve this functionality. So I ask similar question to ChatGPT, and it responses me back with a beautiful Apex trigger that is accurate. Right? You can see that. So it's created trigger on opportunity object, and it actually writes the necessary code for that trigger. And after that, I ask it for create unit test classes for the above trigger. So it also creates a unit test class. So we can see that by using or by leveraging the power of chat gpt, so we can actually solve a problem within few seconds, right? So this is the power of chat gpt. And some actually funny but important use case or important prompt template can be. So you can use ChatGPT as Linux terminal. So this is the prompt, the sentence or paragraph you are seeing that. So the prompt is, I want you to act as a Linux terminal. I will type commands and you will reply with what the terminal should show. I want you to only reply with the terminal output inside one unique code block. So you are actually setting the context and what to do or what not to do, and what is your expectation, etc. So here you can see another sentence: do not write explanation. So it will not write an explanation. Do not type commands unless I instruct you to do so. So you can see that, say that this is a prompt template, and I just copy and paste this prompt template in ChatGPT. You can see here. So the last line of my prompt is, my first command is pwd. So if you run pwd command on Linux terminal, so it will show you the um, location of the home user, right? So you can see that it shows the location of the home user. And when after that response, when I type cd dot dot, that is up to one step, so you can see that it's actually um, acting like a Linux terminal. So it provides me with a response like, so it is actually in currently in home folder. So similarly, you can uh, uh, use ChatGPT as other terminals also, as a SQL terminal or as interpreter of different languages like Python or Go, etc. So here is another important uh, prompt template. So you can use ChatGPT as a mock interviewer. So ChatGPT have all the knowledge of all language. So you just need to ask it. So you just need to prompt accurately, right? So here is a prompt. You can see that I want you to act as an interviewer. I will be candidate and you will ask me the interview question for the Salesforce developer position. So you are defining the context that ChatGPT will a mock interviewer, and I am a Salesforce developer. I have applied as a Salesforce developer position, and I want you to only reply as the interviewer. Do not write all the conversation at once. I want you to only do the interview with me, ask me the question, and wait for my answer. Do not write explanations. Ask me the question one by one, like an interviewer does, and wait for my answer. My first sentence is hi. So this is the prompt actually. When you paste this prompt in ChatGPT, you can see that ChatGPT responses back like an interviewer. So it says, "Hi, thank you for joining us today. I'm glad to have you here for the Salesforce developer position. Let's start with the first question." So it's actually responses back like the real interviewer. And the first question is, can you briefly introduce yourself and highlight your relevant experience as a Salesforce developer? So when you actually continue this conversation, you will see that. So you answer a question, and ChatGPT will uh, actually throw you the next question according to the context actually. Okay. Uh, as I said earlier, so we can actually use ChatGPT as different terminal. So we have seen that we have used as a Linux terminal. Then in this prompt, we can use ChatGPT as a SQL terminal. So this is a prompt, and it actually asks ChatGPT to create a sample database and create some tables and put some demo data. And in the last line, you can see that. So it actually asks ChatGPT to execute some command, some SQL command, obtain all from products order by ID decreasing, right? So uh, the same prompt will give you the response like you are actually working in a real database in a real environment. So actually that's the uh, thing. So I just want to give you an idea how prompt and prompt engineering works, and how you can leverage the prompt template to your use case. So definitely there are some limitations of ChatGPT or other generative AIs like Google Bard and others. So there may be wrong output and biasness of this model. So you have always make sure you have some idea of what asking the AI about, because if you don't have the idea of what you were asking the AI, you cannot actually verify whether it is giving you the wrong output and the biasness. But I believe over the time, actually, it will less likely give the wrong output and biasness. So that's the end of the session. Thank you all. Uh, yeah, if you have any question, please.
Thank you so much. It was really very insightful things. I was just noting down. Like I know that this session will be recorded and we will share that things. Therefore, I'm just thinking that a lot of things you have shared. That's amazing, amazing. Like
Thank you.
yeah, you have also shared the like iterate and refine. So yeah,
Yes.
when we use that, use the